afternoon and welcome to this second panel session here at Ruaha. We have an exciting topic regarding financing the transition for clean cooking. I have a panel of around very distinguished 5 professionals who will be joining me shortly. We'll begin with a very short video, about a 2-minute video, and then we'll get on with the panel. So thank you for being here on time, and we look forward to a very exciting discussion. So let me just, without further ado, welcome the panelists up on stage. When you hear your name, please come up. We are happy to have Dr. Deogracius Paul from the Principal Investment Officer, Vice President's Office. If you could take the far seat on the right, thank you. He's a bioenergy specialist and has been in the field for the past 22 years. Or currently Director of Environment, VPO. We're also happy to have Engineer Hassan Saif Said, Director General, Rural Energy Agency, REA. If you can give him a round of applause, please. And also the professor is in the room. He was declared professor this morning. Mr. Emmanuel Muro, Senior Financial Specialist, UNCDF. Karibu sana. May I please also call up Mr. Frederick Tunutu, Program Manager, the African Enterprise Challenge Fund. Kindly join us on stage. And last but not least, we need to have a banker in the room because we're going to discuss financing. And that role today will go to Mr. Emmanuel Mwaya, Head of Business Development for the Maendeleo Bank. Mr. Emmanuel Mwaya, okay, thank you very much. When you talk financing, it's always good to have a bank around so we can throw stones at where financing is not really happening. So, okay, thank you. Okay, you all now according to your name tags. Thank you. Now, as I'd said, we'll have a short video, about 2-minute video, just to set the scene for our discussion. And then we'll go into a panel discussion on financing the transition for clean cooking. Finance is very important. When finance is put down, we show there's a commitment of getting things done. And obviously, we are halfway there in terms of making this dream a reality. My name is Ivan Tarimo. I'm from a company called Bankable, and I'll be moderating this session over the next 45 minutes. Hopefully, we could have a 30-minute panel discussion and open up to questions from the audience for around 15 minutes. Are we ready with the video?
Kwa mara ya kwanza kabisa kutumia nishati ya gesi asilia katika matumizi ya kupikia chakula cha wanafunzi ilikuwa ni mwaka 2019. Ndipo mfumo rasmi wa kutumia gesi asilia katika matumizi ya upishi wa chakula ulianza. Lakini kabla ya hapo, taasisi kama shule tulikuwa tunatumia kuni. Kipindi cha kuni tulikuwa gharama zake ni milioni 6 kwa mwezi hadi milioni 7. Lakini hivi ninavyoongea na ninyi, kwa mwezi gharama ni milioni 1.4 au na laki 4 hadi milioni 1.5 kwa mwezi. Kwa hiyo hapo tunaweza tukaangalia tumetoka milioni 7 mpaka tumekuja milioni 1.4 hadi laki 5. Kwa hiyo imekuwa ni nafuu kweli kweli, ni nafuu kweli kweli. Kwa mara ya kwanza kabisa kutumia nishati ya gesi asilia katika matumizi ya kupikia chakula cha wanafunzi ilikuwa ni
much. I think that was it. Thank you. So I think there we saw an example of the tremendous impact of the transition that was done by that particular school. Now, given we press for time, we will jump straight into it. And I would like to first of all go to Dr. Paul from VPO. And again, one said, on the financing, the transition to clean cooking, there'll always be two sides. Now, there's the demand side in terms of where the money is being demanded in terms of the projects and the activities. And of course, there's the supply side, where the financing is coming from. Is it banks? Is it alternative investments? Is it grants? Is it funding, etc.? So at different panelists will be speaking with their experience on either of the side that we have here. And really, Dr. Paul, to start from your side, more from both the demand and supply, being at the VPO office, is what are some of the triumphs and what are the opportunities that we see in this space to finance clean cooking, and particularly any projects that you've been involved in, and how these have been helping extending the access of funding to projects, be it on the demand or on the supply side. And we're interested in hearing some of the positive stories that have happened so far. Karibu.
Thank you, moderator. As you have introduced, my name is Paul Gracias. I'm working with the Vice President Office, Division of Environment. Basically, as you all know, that VPO, apart from its mandate on other issues, but it has also a role in coordination on environmental issues. So basically what I will be talking, it will be a link between environmental conservation with clean cooking. So coming to your question, looking on the opportunities that for clean cooking project that can be financed, there is a lot of funds which are might be multilateral or bilaterals. But to mention the few, there is this Global Environmental Fund, Global Environmental Facility. This basically it's intended to fund all projects which are geared toward conserving the environment. But within this fund, you find that there is a component on clean cooking solutions. I might give you examples in relating to your typical examples of the project which have been funded by this GEF. Through VPO, working with district councils, LGAs. So we have, for example, sustainable land management. In that project, which is geared to solve problem on land degradation, which are coming out from, apart from other drivers, but the overdependence on charcoal, the use of charcoal and the firewood. So, and this project is in the 3 region, Ruvuma, which is in the district of Mbinga and the Nyasa. But in Njombe, there is a 2 districts which are also, this project is operated in Ludewa and Makete. But in Mbeya also, there is in Kela district. So basically what is done here is to try to reduce the effect. We know, as we said in the morning, that this journey of try to move from the use of charcoal, it will take long. So what we do is to try to sensitize the communities, see that the effect of using trees to get the energy sources, try to move and shifting to other sources, the alternative. And our focus is not only for gas, but we can also look on other sources for cooking as a cleaning. So for us, we have built several clean cooking stoves. In this we started with Mbinga and the Nyasa through this sustainable energy. But we have another project. This is called EBA. It is hello. It's based on the try to combat on the climate changes. But all these projects are coming from this GF fund. But there is another funds, like called the Adaptation Fund. But I want to emphasize on another opportunity that I think it's very important. It's on the carbon credit. It's it has been for some time, this business on carbon, but nowadays it's starting to pick up and emerging. And I think some of you might recognize that when you go to Katavi, there is a typical examples from Tanganyika district. Those are benefiting from the forest which they keep for environment, but the money which they receive from there, they can invest into other means, including the cooking solutions. So giving example, the figures, from June 2019 to last year, November, they managed to get 3.9 billion money, Tanzania shillings. So you can see, just keep the forest there. This is a combination of 8 villages. So they use that money to cater for other social services. So in this, even this money, they can just put into other means of the clean cooking solution.
Dr. Paul,
Yes.
na kukatiza hapo ili niulize swali moja for the benefit of everyone. So 2 things you've mentioned have stood out. First, you said there's a lot of funding. So I know the people with projects out there noted it down and they were writing. You said there's a lot of funding. Where is this funding? And how do people with projects ambao wako hapa, how do they access that funding? And number 2, carbon credits, hii hewa ya ukaa wanasema, ambayo nayo ina mchakato, na kama umeanza kuelezea hapa, je, ule mchakato wake ninavyojua ni mrefu kidogo, lakini kwa ufupi kama unaweza ukauelezea. Pia nimepewa ruhusa, hii panel kwa iwe in English, lakini tunaweza tukachanganya kidogo for the case of driving the message home. Kwa hiyo nakukaribisha tena specifically on ulivyosema there's a lot of funding where. Na najua umetaja mfano mmoja, one example of the funds, so what else is available? Just to be clear for the people in the room who have projects and they're looking to have these projects financed and they want to knock at the VPO door. Karibu.
Yeah, maybe to go directly, I will say through GF, Global Environmental Facilities, Vice President Office is a focal operational point. And we are now going to the star 8, star 7. We've just finished star 7, which the country had the allocation of $24 million that we just ended it. But now we have an allocation of about 33 million USD for various projects, including cooking solutions. Normally what we do, of course, from December to January, we'll conduct a country dialogue so that all stakeholders can be in a position to write the project. Normally what we do, we come together like the way we are here, and we discuss. There is a criteria. These are called GFABO projects. So we write this project, various projects. Then from there, VPO is endorsing, and you will get allocation depending on how you have justify your case in that. So there's these opportunities. The call for proposal will come out in between December and January, so that we can develop this kind of project. It's not only for clean cooking, but there is a climate change, a sustainable forest, chemicals, water, things like that. So, but there is opportunity for clean cooking as well.
Thank you. Kwenye
Yes.
hewa ya ukaa, naomba nikurudie
Yes,
baadaye kidogo. Nipe nafasi ya kujipanga pia.
That's fine.
Okay. I want to move now to 3 of the 5 panelists here who are mainly on the supply side. Hawa kwenye upande wa upatikanaji wa fedha. And that would be the UNCDF in a way, Maendeleo Bank representative, and of course AECF. Changamoto moja inakuwa kwenye kupata fedha kwa ajili ya miradi. So I want to first start with the banks. Sometimes the projects we're seeing or that are there, they are not ready to go to the bank, but maybe also the bank is not ready to finance these projects. So what are banks doing to do more within supporting clean cooking? Either it's rollout of technology, supporting businesses that are using clean cooking. So what is the typical example from where Maendeleo stands. Karibu.
Good afternoon. Yeah, my name is Emmanuel Mwaya. I'm the head of business development at Maendeleo Bank. We in Maendeleo Bank, we are among first champion on giving renewable energy finance, and we have started doing this since sometimes, but there were some challenges like what you have said, and we resumed again last year on doing the same. The big challenge that the big challenge that normally we face for financial institution is reliability of the other side, because on ourselves we are not technical know-how on renewable energy equipment. And as you know that the bank is much exposed on reputational risk. And this is one of the very big challenges that maybe we faced before, and that we go back and come again, because some of the renewable energy companies we are not trustful in terms of the quality of the renewable energy equipment, even on the side of clean cooking. So this is one of the very big challenge to financial institutions, and that's why most of the banks are not very much interested on this area. However, for us, Maendeleo Bank, we've already started giving loans for renewable energy.
Could you share with us an example?
Okay. On renewable energy for Maendeleo Bank, we have 3 lines that we are dealing with. The first one I'll just mention, because maybe it's not very part of this, but because we are talking about environmental conservation, it's better I just mention. We do compressive natural gas tunatoa mikopo kwa ajili ya kuweka gesi kwenye magari. Where now what we did, we just add up system so that it can accommodate the vehicles to move by using gas. And this we normally do for the clients who wish to do that one, because of the problem of the crisis of fuel. But on the cooking side, we have 2 other lines of credit that we are giving. One of them is we are issuing loans on clean cooking in terms of biogas, specifically for schools and the other populated institution. But the vivid example that we have done is we have issued some loans for some of the schools for LPG. Some of them, just to mention, we entered some MOU with some of the schools, especially at Ubungo Municipal, through their union, where one of the major example is Mount Terong Secondary School, where now we installed a gas system and equipment so that they can use for cooking activities. And this school has more than 500 students. And as what Mtuagers said, they've confessed that they've lowered the cost more than twice. And we have done that for some of school at Bergamo as well. So these are the examples of area that we are doing. But the other example, we have micro-housing loan and mortgage. We have entered MOU with some of the renewable companies which are supplying, like MISO. And when we finance a customer maybe on building the house, one of the advice that we give is to install this maybe high-weight solar system or even the gas system. So we just direct them to MISOL and other companies. They just do costing, and if they agree, they give us an invoice, and after that, we do our internal analysis and provide loan to the client and pay to MISO and other renewable energy companies.
Thank you, Mr. Moai, for those two very clear examples. And I think the examples help to highlight maybe the challenge of financing clean cooking as well as the opportunity. With the school example, a school is an established business. It has got students, they are paying fees, and of course, they have the income from their business to pay back the loan on the gas side. So some of the developments we're looking to do are projects which are run by startups, or maybe they're used in homes, and there are issues of scale, and there's issue of, like you said, how do you trust the project that comes before you? And so I just wanted to bring in here Mr. Muro from the UNCDF, because I know in particular the UNCDF does quite a lot of work in terms of assisting in packaging of transactions so that they are, quote unquote, maybe more bankable for banks or other alternative investors to put money in. So just for him to share his expertise on the role that they're doing to unlock the opportunities so that the supply of financing flows to some of these projects.
Thank you, Ivan. Thank you, colleagues. As I have been introduced, my name is Emmanuel Moore. I work with United Nations Capital Development Fund as a senior investment specialist, but also as far as the Clean Cooking Initiative is concerned, UNCDF is implementing as a manager and as a fund manager and implementer of the Clean Cooking Program, which is funded by European Union. Is the program under the Ministry of Energy and is funded by European Union, amounting to 17 million euro. It's been implemented in Dar es Salaam, Morogoro, Pwani, Dodoma, and Mwanza, this corridor, and is concentrated in urban areas. It covers about 5 technologies: LPG, natural gas, and briquette, bioethanol, improved cook stove.
Professor Muro, naomba nikukatishe kidogo ili urudie uchosema pia in Kiswahili. Nadhani umetoa very good introduction ya UNCDF. Na tulivyosema a lot of funds, mimi nafuatilia tu ile a lot of funds. Kwamba kuna a lot of funds na sasa hivi nimesikia kiasi. Huku kule kuna a lot of funds, huku kuna 17 million euros. Kwa hiyo to take notes. If you can just repeat that introduction as well in Kiswahili, nadhani for everyone to understand.
Thank you. I'm saying UNCDF is a fund manager and implementer of this morning. Sorry. UNCDF ni manager na msimamizi wa mradi wa nishati safi ya kupikia ambayo imefadhiliwa na Umoja wa Ulaya kwa gharama ya euro milioni 17, ambayo inatekelezwa katika maeneo ya mijini ya mikoa ya Dar es Salaam, Morogoro, Pwani, Dodoma na Mwanza. Inasaidia wafanyabiashara na watumiaji wa mwisho kwa ajili ya kustimulate soko, na inasaidia wafanyabiashara wanaotekeleza teknoloji ya LPG, natural gas, briquettes, bioethanol, na improved cook stoves. Mradi wenyewe ni kwamba sio kwamba tunahimiza watu watumie mkaa, lakini tunatambua kwamba mkaa hauishi kesho wala kesho kutwa kwa maana ya kutumika, isipokuwa ni kuhimiza watengenezaji wa majiko mazuri ya mkaa ambayo yanapunguza matumizi ya mkaa kwa 66%, ambayo yanaanzia tier 2 na tier 3 ya certification, na ambayo yanaweza kupunguza emission. Sasa unisamee hapo, sina Kiswahili chake. Yanaweza kupunguza emission pamoja na kuwa na usafi na energy efficiency, ubora wa majiko. Tulitangaza kwa mara ya kwanza call for proposal mwezi wa 8 mwishoni, na tunaendelea kupokea maombi, na we want to address just 2 areas: SMEs and small growing companies undercapitalization, and end user financing to increase affordability. Those are 2 areas to stimulate market rollout in these areas. So you are welcome. Just bring your application. We have advertised it. We have website. In case you have any question, you are warmly welcome. So far, we have received a lot of application, and we are screening and going to advanced stage of due diligence. And for those who have applied already, we'll reach you shortly. Thank you. So now, can I go to your question? Yes. Okay. We were asked to respond on the available financing instruments from the supply side. Normally, people think financing is just actual inflows and outflow, where you are supposed to receive just cash. But financing has a lot of, and a very wide definition. In UNCDF, we are providing subsidized loan, we are providing zero interest loan, we are providing grants. We are also managing funds like the one I've said. We are fund managers, and we provide also, we work with other partners to provide financial guarantee. And we are also now thinking of, in the financing architecture, normally people think of lender, borrower, somewhere in between collateral. But that has been working at all. There are a lot of challenges in this country because 90% of businesses are small business, which are informal, and we need to do a lot to formalize our business so that they can qualify for this commercial borrowing, commercial lending. And in this case, we are thinking of adding another layer from 3 layers to 4th layer of leasing, where now we can have some kind of arrangement to have a guarantee to the equipment suppliers, to the leasing company, bank, and the potential beneficiaries. So we provide those services, but we understand the main challenge of accessing finance is not the financing availability at all. And I've been saying this, and I think you have met several times. We don't have a problem of funding in this world. We have the problem of accessing the right color of money. Where to get that money? Who has that kind of money which you want? When exactly? And as far as the clean cooking financing, we have to distinguish between the two. Are we looking for investment capital, or are we looking for working capital finance? Those are quite different definitions. Today we are crying that we want to increase the supply of LPG. Now I'm asking you, Ivan. We have the capacity, the storage capacity at the port, Dar es Salaam port in Tanga, is just 16,500 metric tons at a time. If we increase the supply, the consumption of LPG in this country for about 20%, do we have storage capacities? Somebody is moving from Ifakara with empty cylinders coming to Dar es Salaam to fill the cylinder. And energy products and energy technologies in this world, and in Africa and in Tanzania, is high volume, low margin business. It has to make sense from the profitability point of view and from viability point of view, even for the commercial lenders to provide finance, even for any interested party to put money. So unless a businessman or interested business person want to get into the equation, unless he or she sees the big volume, it is very difficult to attract even private sector. So along the value chain, we have the storage facilities at the port. We have filling station. We have a lot of infrastructure requirement, of which my brother Beno from Oryx can find it difficult to put more money along the sector. But today, you see, remember, Ivan, last 2 weeks, last 2 years, we had these Jasiri bonds. Yes. They raised a lot of money, oversubscribed by 197%. So we can use even capital market to raise money to build an infrastructure and establish a state-owned enterprise which can own those and give it the private sector to operate under management contract instead of depending on the private sector to go out and establish the infrastructure for LPG distribution. Because if we continue depending on the ministry estimate to the parliament every year, all the time they can cry of not having adequate money. So in this case, let's think of even going out to the capital market, raise fund through capital market by issuing bonds, raise about 200, 300 billion shillings, build the infrastructure, distribution infrastructure all over the country. Mr. Beno, you remember your people at Ifakara, they are moving with empty cylinders from Ifakara, taking a truck to refill in Dar es Salaam with a margin of 2,000 shillings. How much is he going to sell to recover the cost of investment so that private sector can go and meet Mr. Moya to get a loan which can be repayable at 18% interest rate? So the financing architecture is difficult, but we need to think it in a very broad way. Yeah. Can I end there for now? Yes. You know the problem of teachers, we talk a lot.
No, but Professor umetupa madini, so nakushukuru sana. Thank you very much for those. And you hit on a good point. There's a value chain in the process between the clean energy that is being delivered somewhere and how it's coming in, it's imported, kuna port facilities, etc., etc. And all that needs significant investment in for it to work. Now, I'm going to go to speak to my next two panelists before we open up for some questions. I know it's financing, na financing lazima kuna maswali, na mengi atenda kwa benka, lakini nitajitahidi kumlinda. But before I go to Engineer Saidi, I want to first go to the AECF. Now, I recognize the AECF's role in supporting, creating projects to be ready for financing. You heard some of the challenges that Mr. Muro has mentioned here. And there are always projects which are not ready to go to the bank. So how are you helping these projects? And I suspect also you also have a lot of funds somewhere. So let people know of the various ways you're supporting projects currently through your fund. Thank you.
Asante sana. Yes, my name is Frederick Tunutu. I am a program manager for Tanzania Clean Cooking program at AECF. AECF is a short form of African Enterprise Challenge Fund. This is a development organization that supports early stage and the growth stage businesses across Africa. We are in more than 26 countries in Africa. In Tanzania, in the last 10 years, we've invested a total of 40 million USD, supporting companies in the areas of agribusiness and renewable energy. Some of the businesses that we have supported include Mobisol and the Jumeme. Currently, we have launched a new program that we launched in September, Tanzania Clean Cooking program. It's a $3.75 million program that is funded by the government of Sweden. And the objective of this program is to de-risk and incentivize early stage businesses that want to venture into new areas in the area of clean cooking. We all know that for any business, investors are looking to make a profit. They normally avoid businesses that are too risky, and also they are in a fragile environment. So this project's objective is to cushion the businesses so that they can be able to venture into areas that have not been able to benefit from other initiatives of clean cooking in Tanzania. So we have opened application since September 30th, and the window is opened up to 10th November. And we have already started to receive some applications. And we are going to provide a grant from 50,000 USD for early stage business, and for those who are in a growth stage, they can apply up to 400,000 USD. So as I've mentioned, the objective of this project is not only to de-risk these businesses, but also to have more people, especially in the peri-urban and rural area, access clean cooking technologies. We are going to fund technologies that are from Tier 2, but we are also going to fund fuels like LPG, also briquettes. And the project is going to be implemented in a period of 3 years. And for this time, the successful businesses that will be funding will also be receiving technical assistance in order to help them to grow. What we have seen is that for these early stage businesses, when you give them grant or interest-free loan, after a certain period of time, when you monitor them and also provide technical assistance, they are able to attract funds from the traditional commercial financial institutions like the Maendeleo Bank. They normally don't find risky businesses. So we de-risk these businesses so that they can be able to access funds from these commercial financial institutions. So the window is still open up to 10th, and we have been receiving applications, and for those who are interested, you are also invited to apply.
Thank you, Frederick. And you also raise a very important point. Sometimes you have a project, you are doing something within clean cooking, and because perhaps you feel I need money, you bang the door of the bank and they are not responding, they don't understand very well the risk, but it's really people like maybe AECF that can help you. Kwa hiyo nakumbusha tu, kuna a lot of funds, kuna $40 million, na huku mwisho kuna 17 million euros. Muongeze. Okay. All right. Engineer Hassan Saidi, you have a very difficult job, sir. When I just think of your role as Director General of Rural Energy Agency, I don't envy it for 1 second. We have electricity at, I think, over 70% of the villages and counting. Now, because it's rural energy and it's electrification, it's directly seen as creating the alternative to perhaps the rural households using charcoal and, let's say, wood for things like cooking. So it's a key part of this transition. I understand, though, as you're doing these projects, the people you're working with, they also may be facing some constraints about financing. So somewhere you are constrained by financing. What is it that you need the financiers to know about the rare projects and how they can support them? So because there are people here who have some of the ideas. Professor Muro's idea of a bond should probably go to REA. REA should be the ones to issue that bond. So karib sana, engineer.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, moderator. As you have seen, REA in brief is a public institution and agents working under Ministry of Energy. And our main purpose is to promote and to facilitate project that intends to extend energy service to rural areas. That is our main mandate. And we do that by providing capital subsidy for the project developers. So REA is actually a funding agency also. It's a funding agency. And where do we get money? We get from the government through budgetary allocations, through levies, from petroleum levies and electricity sale levies, but also we are working very closely with development partners. And I'm happy some of them are here today. And with your permission, I need to recognize them very briefly. We have European Union, I'm seeing there, here, Sweden, Norway, World Bank, and African Development Bank. We have been working with them for quite a long time now. And as you have said, since establishment of REA, we have been concentrating on promoting the extension of national grids to rural areas. As we speak today, actually 70% is access to electricity. But number of villages, we are reaching 75%. Out of 12,319 villages, we have already connected 9,163.
Makofi kwa REA tafadhali. This is phenomenal. Thank you.
Thank you, moderator. And actually, the remaining about 300 villages are in, all of them are in programs. Contractors are outside now doing electrification works. But despite of such huge success, and as you said, actually one of our expectations when we are extending grid to rural areas, we thought some of the villages, they will use power for cooking energy. But that has not been the case. While we are talking 75% of villages have electricity supplies, the use of electricity for cooking energy in rural areas is less than 0.5%. 0.5%. Now, after realizing that, starting this year, REA have come up with a new plan to now have a specific program to support availability of clean cooking solution in rural areas. And we have in our budget 10 billion shillings. Part of it goes to TPDC to extend this natural gas pipe in Linde and Pani as a means to provide natural gas to some households for clean cooking energy. And part of it will be used to supply nearly 100,000 LPG cylinders in rural areas. Of course, we are going to work with private sectors, and currently we are preparing these operating guidelines. And once we complete it, we will also release a call for proposals, and whoever wins to work with us, then we will make financing arrangement. We are going to give some advance payment after receiving advance payment security, and after that we'll monitor implementation of project, and the financing will be done through result-based approach. That's one of the package, and good luck. Starting this year, we have received nearly 6 million from the World Bank to support distribution of improved cooking solution in rural areas. And here we have two different things. When you are dealing with clean cooking energy, we are talking about electricity, biogas, and in some way, we are considering LPG as clean. It's not clean as such, but its impact to the environment and health of human being is very small. So we categorize this in the same group as for electricity and biogas. The improved cooking stove, that will intend to continue using biomass. That means charcoal and firewoods. But those stoves, those cookers, will have less impact they will emit a very few carbon dioxide, but also it will have more energy efficiency as compared to these traditional cookers. So yes, as starting this year, we have $6 million and we have 10 billion shillings from the government of Tanzania to support the provision of clean cooking solutions in rural areas. And just to add some few issues, in the past, we had some initiatives with the support from Norwegian embassy here to distribute LPG and also to construct these biogas plants. But the project were not very much successful due to rezone at that time. Thank you, Moderator.
Thank you very much. And I think, I don't know at what level, maybe Rhea speaks to the like of UNCDF or AECF, but I see a lot of synergies in some of the projects that you're doing. So we'll have closing remarks from the panel in a bit, but we'll get some questions first. I think some people may want to ask some questions based on what you've already said. But before they ask, I just want to remind them again, we've got a lot of funds at the end. We've got $40 million, there's $6 million and 10 billion here. There's the balance sheet of Maendeleo, and of course there's 17 million euros project here, just as a reminder. Okay, so can we go around the room for a few questions? Again, we are pressed for time. We won't be able to take too many questions. If we can start it at 3 questions, there's 2 over there. And I am looking for, yes, the lady right there. Sorry, bro, behind you. So if we can start over there, please. Please say your name and try and keep your question as brief or straight to the point as possible. Karibu.
Asante sana. Majina naitwa Kiko Kiwanga. Na swali langu basically ilikuwa kwa UNCDF, lakini sasa pia litagusa upande wa AECF kuhusiana na hizi criteria, especially kwa upande wa UNCDF criteria ile ya kwamba hizi lazima ziwe operational for sometimes na ziwe zina audited financial report. Ingawa nimeona provision pale kwamba inaweza wakatoa 6 months audited financial report after the start of the projects, kama niko correct. So swali langu nilikuwa naongelea hapa, mimi naongelea kuhusiana na grassroots innovators kwa sababu ndio ambao sisi tunawasupport. Na most of these they operate in informal market. Although what we do actually, we are helping them formalize their businesses, lakini they have actual sales, and they have been doing this. For instance, one who we are working with, they have been operational since 2019, but they don't have any formal business. But the business is doing very good, and right now we're in the process of formalizing it. So my question basically was like, how do you consider businesses like this? Do you have a chance for this round of funding, or they don't? Now for AECDF, with respect to the matching fund, because I see even for UNCDF, you also require matching fund. Some of these projects, basically, they don't have so much capital, although they have some sales. But for them, everything that they sell, they end up consuming it. So would you consider maybe if they apply multiple funds, would that source from that other fund, would it qualify to be a matching fund, or it must be coming from their own businesses?
Thank you very much. Next question, please, I think in front of you. Can you introduce your name and please keep the question as brief as possible?
Asante. Kwa majina ninaitwa Shirida Magomere, ni fresh graduate kutoka Chuo Kikuu cha Dodoma, nimesoma Renewable Energy Engineering. Sasa swali langu linakuja kwenye watu wote wahusika hapo mbele, naona wote wanatoa mikopo hapo mbele, wanafanya finance. Sasa mimi swali langu linakuja kwa sisi ambao tuna knowledge tu. Mfano sisi tupo group ya 5 people. Tumeandaa proposal, tunaendelea kuandaa proposal kuhusiana na kufanya installation ya biomass na mambo kama hayo katika mashule, na pia mambo ya energy auditing katika workplaces zote. Sasa tumefuatilia kidogo, tumeenda kuuliza watu jinsi ya kupata mikopo au jinsi gani tunavyoweza tukajiinua. Tukaambiwa kama hauna connection, hauna chochote unaweza ukafanikiwa. Sasa sisi ukituona wote wale watano, tuko watano ni connectionless. Hatuna mtu yoyote serikalini, hatuna mtu yoyote wa kutusapoti. Na ndio fresh graduate, hatuna chochote, lakini tuna ideas na tuna uwezo wa kufanya hivyo vitu. Sasa ningependa kuuliza hapo mbele, procedure gani ambazo tunaweza tukafanya ili tuwafikie nyie wakuu mtusaidie. Tukianzia huku chini, tunakatishwa tamaa. Tunasema tena nyie, hamna hata experience, hamjui kufanya hamwezi. Lakini mkiangalia sisi, ndo tunaoweza tukatoka hapa chini, ni vijana bado tuna nguvu na tunaweza tukaimplement kila kitu kinachoongelewa. Kwa hiyo ninaomba nipate hizo procedure ili tuwafikie wakuu kwa ajili ya finance.
Thank you very much for good question. Connection ndo hii hapa, utaipata hapa leo. Kulikuwa kuna madam hapa. Again, we are moving to session ya Mheshimiwa Waziri in about 5-10 minutes. Kwa hiyo naomba tushachukua hili swali, nipate majibu kutoka kwa panelist. Karibu madam. Oh, can you have a mic? Yeah. I'll give you mine.
Asante. Kwa majina naitwa Umi, niko kwenye private sector, nawakilisha Delight Tanzania. Na swali moja kwa the ones who are giving grants and funds. Sometimes these grants and funds don't reach to the private sector directly by letting them understand that they need to do something so that they can have those particular grants. It's only displayed, and sometimes even the tenders are going directly to the people who are close to the ministries, but not everybody. So my question comes, is there a platform whereby we have the ministries and the private sector conversating exactly about these particular grants? Or it's only just displaying on the websites and people need to go and grab them? Asante.
So ni on the website au unahitaji connection? Aya, naomba again, I'm very mindful of time whilst obviously respecting to touch on as many things as possible. Naomba ni run very quickly through my panelists hapa na nitoe nafasi ya both closing remark. If we don't get kicked out of this hall, we tutaendelea, and kurespond kwa swali kama lilikuja swali kwako. Kwa kuwa mwalimu ulipewa swali, naomba uanze wewe hapa. Na again, we have just 5 minutes left. Asante.
Okay. Ngoja niseme sasa jambo moja. Mara nyingi panelists huwa hawajibizani, lakini sasa naomba ni muombe Engineer Saidi, kwa sababu uko karibu zaidi na wizara na serikali, sauti yako inaweza ikafikika kabla ya kwangu. Sasa nikuombe, hatuna sababu ya kuringia kiwango cha kufikia 80% ya umeme Tanzania kwa kuunganisha na nyumba kwa ajili ya taa, kwa ajili ya kuwasha taa pia, kama kweli kama haitashiriki kuchangia kwenye nishati ya kupikia. Lakini ukienda sokoni sasa hivi utakuta majiko ya umeme ya aina kama 30 hivi, na energy efficiency zake ni za kutisha, kiasi ambacho mtu akitumia lile jiko kupikia anaweza akajifilisi kibudget. Lakini tuna Tanzania Bureau of Standard, tuna wadau kama kina Sescom na Tatedo ambao wamewekeza na kuleta majiko ambayo yamethibitisha beyond reasonable doubt kwamba unapika chakula kwa shilingi 145 kwa dakika 40. Kwa maana ya kwamba kama TBS ipo na kama serikali imeshawekeza kwenye umeme, basi tuchukua tu kama serikali kuhakikisha kwamba majiko yanayoingia Tanzania ni ya teknolojia iliyokubalika, ambayo mtumiaji hawezi kulazimika kutoa pesa kwa kuwa lile jiko linatumia umeme mwingi na wanatumia. Na hata hivyo tutakuta kama taifa, kama tutaruhusu majiko yanayotumia umeme mwingi yakiingia sokoni, hata TANESCO watakuwa wanatumia umeme mwingi, tutakuwa tunaingia hasara. Lakini jambo la pili ambalo nilikuwa nakuomba, Wakati mwingine tunapokea hizi pesa za wafadhili. Maisha yana give and take. Life has got give and take, and we have to trade off. Sasa hivi TRA kwa mfano hizi pesa zilizokuja, tena namuongea na engineer Bangira, ngoja nimtazame, maana yake ukikutana na Mangi unamwambia hapo hapo, mara nyingi unaweza usikutane naye tena. Engineer, hivi wafadhili wakileta fedha hapa, wabia wa maendeleo, alafu zile pesa zikatumika kulipia TRA kodi, alafu vile vifaa ambavyo vingekuja labda units 5 za majiko ikaja 2 kwa sababu ya kodi ya serikali, lakini zimetokana na fedha ya wafadhili, na tunategemea kwamba kuwe na outreach ya ile teknolojia ili iweze kusaidia wananchi. Sasa ile faida inayopata TRA kwa kukusanya hela ya kodi kwenye majiko, kwa mfano jiko la umeme zuri lina kodi ya 40% mpaka 45%. Hatuoni kwamba tunafanya mambo ambayo tunakwenda mbele tunarudi nyuma. Kama tunataka tuongeze majiko, tukubali kupoteza, tu trade off ile ya TRA pale, tuondoe kodi kwenye majiko, tuongeze outreach, majiko yawe mengi na tuweze kuimport majiko ambayo ni bora zaidi, tukaondoa yale ambayo yanatumia umeme mwingi na kuharibu bajeti za wananchi. Dada uliyesema connection. Sasa wewe una sababu ya kuogopa connection. Start with me once we are done with this. Sasa lakini ni kwamba it's difficult to trust someone just from the university. That's why other countries have the volunteerism system. You have to start somewhere as a volunteer to establish a track record where you can tell a story of your capacities. Having A's in your exam doesn't guarantee that you are smart in that. And somebody can also be very good on academic credentials, but on entrepreneurship is fairly quite low. So build a relationship, see how you can volunteer somewhere, build a track record, build trust among your friends, work with waliokuzidi, unaolingana nao na walioko chini yako, from there you can succeed. Na zile criteria alizosema, nafikiri inanihusu mimi na Bwana Tunutu, criteria zile, if there is no law, if there is no order, there is chaos. Kama hakuna utaratibu, kuna fujo. Hatuwezi kuwa na utaratibu ambao, hatuwezi kutoa pesa milioni 100 kwa mtu ambaye huna track record. Kama tungekuwa tunatoa 50,000 sawa, tungeriski. Lakini tunakuassess, alafu huna track record, ni vigumu sana. Kwa sababu zile pesa pia ni nyingi. Zina range kutoka euro 10,000 mpaka 300,000 per applicant. Sasa mzee, unataka tukupe milioni 700, huna track record?
Asante mwalimu.
Asante.
Naomba nipate salamu fupi tu za kumaliza kwa wote. Nadhani umekava swali hizo 2. Kuna swali moja la madam pale, labda kama moja atalikava kwa kumalizia ili kuweza kwenda kwenye session nyingine. Nadhani nimesikia ujumbe wa kitaalamu, wa kibaba na pia wa masuala ya fedha na kiualimu. Mr. Mwaya tafadhali, alafu engineer, Mr. Tunutu, and then tumalize pale. Salamu tu ya kumalizia, ya kufunga kwa ufupi kabisa. Asante.
Asante sana. Nianze tu kusema kwamba hii vita ya nishati chafu ni vita ambayo inamgusa kila mmoja wetu, ama kwa namna moja ama nyingine. Kama sio direct, basi aidha ndugu ama mtu mwingine wa karibu ameshaguswa na tatizo hili. Kwa hiyo ni wajibu wetu sisi ambao tuko mahali hapa na Tanzania kwa ujumla, ni kuona ni kwa namna gani ambavyo tunaweza tukashirikiana. Shida kubwa ambayo ninaiona ni kwamba katika eneo hili na sasa hivi nafikiri ndio tunajenga msingi kwamba kila watu walikuwa wanakwenda kivyake. Kulikuwa hakuna kitu ambacho kilikuwa kinatuunganisha. Na kwa sababu hiyo, kwa mfano sisi upande wa taasisi za fedha tuko tayari kuona namna ya kushirikiana. Kwa tunaangalia na nishaanza baadhi ya initiative. Kwa mfano nilikuwa naangalia kwa mfano tukisema kwamba tunataka kusambaza gas kwa ajili ya clean cooking kwenye nyumba hizi za national housing. Nimeshaanza kufuatilia na watu wa national housing kuona namna gani sisi kama maendeleo tunaweza tukaventure sehemu hiyo na tukaweza tukatoa finance to the extent kwamba tuweze kutoa finance hasa kwenye eneo la infrastructure na equipment katika eneo hilo, na tutengeneze mazingira mazuri ambazo tunaweza tukashirikiana na hizi taasisi, kwa mfano National Housing, watumishi house ambao wanaendelea na project nyingi, kwamba tuone ni namna gani katika yale maeneo tunaweza tukafanya na kutengeneza model mzuri ambayo itatuwezesha sisi kuweza kufanya nao, kiasi kwamba kama mtu ana uwezo wa kulipa kodi kila mwezi, basi tuone ni namna gani tunaweza tukatengeneza financial model ambayo itakuwa inamwezesha anapokuwa analipa ile kodi awe pia anaweka kiasi fulani kwa ajili ya kuweza kwa hayo ni mazungumzo ambayo sisi kama Maendeleo Bank tumekuwa tukiendelea kuyafanya. Asante sana.
Thank you. Engineer, karibu.
Asante sana, nashukuru. Naomba mimi niongee kidogo kuhusu alichosema Ikakamuro. Ameongea vitu vya msingi, lakini kwanza niseme zisije kwangu. Nina kamishna wangu pale, kwa hiyo amelichukua. Najua wizarani limefika moja kwa moja. Mimi nichangie tu kama electrical engineer wa kawaida. Mimi agree kama kuna maeneo ambayo tunahitaji intervention ya kila mtu ni kwenye swala la nishati safi ya kupikia.
Ni swala la urudi
nishati ya kupikia.
Nishati ya kupikia.
Impact yake zimeshaelezwa asubuhi, hatuna haja kuzirudia. Lakini trust me, madhara ni makubwa kuliko tulivyoongea leo. Kakamuru asubuhi alisema ni kama vile tunakula bilioni la
mkopo.
Ule mkopo ni mgumu kweli. Kweli tunafikiri tunapata nishati za bure, lakini gharama ambayo imejificha tutakuja kuilipa baadaye, kimsingi hailipiki. Mikopo inalipika mingine, hiyo inaweza isilipike. Lakini nilikuwa nataka nishauri kwenye masuala ya appliances, kwa maana ya majiko ambayo ni energy efficient. Sawa? Moja ya changamoto, teknolojia mpya inapokuja inakuja na exaggerated price. Watu wanataka wafidie research waliofanya, R&D, kila kitu. Kwa hiyo inakuwa ghali sana. Pale tuna jiko induction cooker electric, it's around 300,000 per piece. Kwa hiyo hata ukitoa kodi ukifanya nini bado utarudi kwenye 250,000, 200,000 bado. Kwa mimi yes, ninaunga mkono serikali support kupunguza kodi na kila kitu, lakini yale mengine tusiyafungie kwanza. Kama mtakumbuka kati hizi taa zinakuja energy saver, hizi zilikuwa zinauzwa 7,000, 10,000. Sisi wengine bado tulikuwa tunatumia yale mayai, mabalbu kwa sababu ya kutojua, lakini tulipokuja kurealize leo yai ile zinauzwa mtaani kwetu shilingi 200, hizi 3,000 hakuna nainua la shilingi 200. Kwa hiyo automatic vitu vitaadjust. Sisi sasa hivi tufanye intervention, lakini swala la msingi kama juzi wakati naongea kwenye starting nilisema kila mtu akiondoka kwenye kikao ajue wajibu wake, na mimi nina hakika kila mtu anaondoka na wajibu. Hata waandishi wa habari mkitoka hapa, haya yanayozungumzwa hapa yafike vijijini, watu wajue gharama halisi ya kutumia nishati chafu ya kupikia. Asante sana.
Asante. Last two comments from the last two speakers. We have to now move to the next session.
Asante sana. Mr. Muro alikuwa amejibu maswali yote yanayohusu hizi fund, lakini tu kujazia lile la matching fund. The objective of matching fund is to get your commitment. Bila kuonyesha commitment inakuwa ngumu kuweza kuona kwamba kweli huyu mtu yuko serious. Kwa sababu lengo sio kukufaidisha wewe unayeomba tu hizi fedha, bali pia kuwafaidisha wale ambao wanakosa huduma, kwa sababu tunataka tukupe wewe hizi fedha alafu wewe uzichukue uende kuendeleza biashara kwa ajili ya kuwafikia huduma wale ambao hawapati huduma hasa katika maeneo ya vijijini. Lakini la mwisho tu niseme kwamba kuwatoa hofu wale ambao wanaogopa kuhusu connection, ni kwamba mchakato wa kuaward hizi fund ni wawazi, very transparent. Toka launch hii window tulitangaza na tulialika watu wote, watu wa serikali. Tunafanya kazi kwa karibu sana na dona, balozi wa Sweden. Kwa hiyo nawaomba wote ambao wana mashaka basi waweze kufika kwetu kwa maswali zaidi, lakini nataka nitoe rai tu wale wote ambao wana uwezo wa kuapply waweze kuapply, ili kwa pamoja tuweze kusaidia kueneza teknolojia safi kwa wananchi wetu wengi hasa walioko vijijini. Asanteni.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Paul, last word to you.
Okay, asante moderator. Na sauti yangu hapo, kwa kukamilisha, ofisi ya makamu wa rais haitoi mikopo kama mwongeaji mmoja aliuliza swali pale. Lakini sema hivi, kwa mfano hiyo window ambayo nilizungumzia ya mzunguko wa 8 wa GEF ambapo sasa hivi tumewekewa fedha kiasi cha dola milioni 33.2. Hapo tuna wigo mpana sasa hivi wa kuandika miradi mbalimbali. Kwa hiyo kuanzia Disemba mpaka Januari, kama nilivyosema, tutakuwa na nafasi ya kuelekezana jinsi gani ya kuandika hiyo miradi mbalimbali katika maeneo mbalimbali, including hii ya kupata nishati safi ya kupikia. Kwa hiyo wakati huo ukifika, tutatangaziana, basi tutakuja wataalamu watatuelekeza jinsi gani ya kufanya hiyo kitu. Lakini swali lingine ni moderator ulizungumzia, niseme kidogo kuhusiana na biashara ya carbon credit business. Ofisi ya Makamu wa Rais imeandaa regulation na mwongozo, guideline kwa ajili ya kufanya biashara hiyo. Mwanzoni ilikuwa inafanyika tukiolela, na pamoja kwamba nilisema kuna faida kubwa imepatikana sasa hivi katika mfano wa project niloisema kule Katavi katika halmashauri ya Tanganyika, bado kuna malalamiko, kuna usiri fulani hivi, kwa sababu biashara hii inachofanyika kunakuwa na blockers. Kwa hiyo sasa hivi imeandaliwa mwongozo maalum ambao utapatikana kuanzia next week, na vile vile kutakuwa na regulation, kanuni ya kuongoza biashara hii ifanyikeje hapa nchini. Kwa hiyo ni fursa mojawapo ambayo tunaweza tukaitumia katika pesa zitakazopatikana kuwekeza katika clean cooking.
Asante sana. Thank you. Can I have a round of applause please for the panelists? Nawashukuru sana, asanteni. Thank you to our audience. We are out of time and we need to move to another, I think people need to move another session at Selu. So thank you very much for your contribution. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the interpreters. We've confused them with English, and Swahili changes every other sentence, but we thank you everybody who's contributed to this session. Asanteni sana.